Hello, good people, wherever you're watching. This is the full analysis of Pope Leo the 14th birth chart, and I'm using the sidereal constellation chart. So if you check on my chart here, I'm showing the date that was indicated to be his birth time, that the birth date. But as per now, we still do not have the actual birth time given. So the date of birth is 14th September 1955. As you can see here, and I'm using 5 a.m. in the morning. So anytime I do not have an actual birth time, I'll use 5 a.m. There is a reason why we do use the 5 a.m. time. So anytime you do not have an actual time of birth given, always ensure that you use 5 a.m. in the morning. So if you look at this chart, number one, you will see that if you add all those digits in his birth time or birth date, you'll find that you'll get a life path 7. So in numerology, each and every number from 1 to 9 has its own meaning. So if you check, you go and research what life path 7 is all about, so you'll see that 7 is a number of a spiritual seeker. So meaning that this person is born for that very reason. So he's born to be a spiritual seeker, and mostly 7 tries to dig deep into mystical knowledge, a deep occult knowledge, and 7 is one of the most secluded number in terms of spiritual search. So 7 will go into what majority of other numbers would fear in order to find its spiritual core, or why it's born in this earthly dimension. So in this particular chart now, once you find that, you observe that 7 is ruled by Neptune and Ketu. So because we are using ancient numerology and astrology, we can say that Ketu is the most prominent graha as far as 7 is concerned in this particular case. So in this particular chart, you can see that Ketu is placed in Taurus and is very prominent because it's placed in the 10th house. So anybody that knows how to study this chart, the houses are fixed as this is house number 1, house number 2, house number 3, and each house it has its own signification. 4th house, that's the 5th house. These houses never change. 6th house, 7th house, 8th house, 9th house, 10th house, 11th house, and the 12th house. So these are the houses. You can see that Ketu here, let me indicate Ketu, is placed in the 10th house. 10th house is the most brightest house in astrological chart, as it indicates the mid-heaven. So any planet there, either transiting or sitting at the time of birth, as seen in this particular chart, becomes very strong. So you can see Ketu in the 10th house, and then the life path is 7, and 7 happen to be ruled by Ketu. So this is not a coincidence. Then the next thing I would like us to see is that this Pope chose his saint name to be Leo. So if you look at the ascendant or the rising sign, house number 1 here, you'll note that We have Moon seated in Leo, because Leo is the fifth sign. So Moon is in Leo. Then we have Mars in Leo. You can see Mars has a C, meaning it's very close to the Sun. So Mars is combust. And then Sun is also in Leo. So Sun in Leo is super strong, as Leo is ruled by Sun. So Sun is in its own house, what they call the multicon or multricona. Multricona meaning that let the root where the Sun is rooted. So Sun is in Leo. So we have how many points? We have the ascendant at 21 degrees in Leo, the Sun at 27 degrees of Leo, Mars at 18 degrees of Leo, Pluto is also in Leo, you can see, and then Moon is in Leo. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Leo and 1 point, that is the rising sign. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 presidents in Leo. To be precise, we have 4 planets in 1 point, angular point in Leo. So if I move down on this table, let me move down on this table. I'll move down here. So you can see that Lagna is at 21 degrees of Leo in nakshatra called Purva Falguni. And then the Sun, which is the AK or the Atmakarka, as per Gemini astrology, AK means that the Sun has the highest degree in this birth chart, so becomes the sole signifactor. So any planet that has the highest degree becomes this Atmakarka or the sole signifactor. So Sun is in Leo in the nakshatra of Uttra Falguni. Then Moon, which represents our mind, our mother, our emotions, and our feelings, is also in Leo in the nakshatra of Maga. Maga is the throne of the king. So we say that Maga takes people to leadership and throne, because Maga derives energy from the constellation or the star called Regulus. And you know that Regulus is usually referred to as the star of the king. Then Mars, which represents your vitality, your energy, your willpower, is in Leo in the nakshatra of Purva Falguni. If you check down here, you will realize that Pluto is also in Leo. Pluto is the planet of control, power, control, and underworld wisdom. So Pluto is in Leo and also in the nakshatra of Maga. So it's very near the star Regulus. It's in 4 degrees of Leo. So you can see all this culminates into something which is very powerful. So it's no wonder that these people choose to call this Pope Leo the 14th. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, another thing we would like to point out from this particular chart is that majority of planets are very well placed. You can see that Sun is in its own house, so first house is very strong. As you can see, Sun is in Leo, so that strengthens the first house. Then we can see that Sun is in Leo, in making that house super strong. Then if you check on your left, you'll see Jupiter there. So let me point to Jupiter. Jupiter is here, and you can see that Jupiter is also exalted, is in Cancer. Jupiter usually gets exalted in Cancer. Then Mercury is also exalted. Mercury is exalted in the 6th sign. You can see Mercury is in the 6th sign, which is Virgo, but seated in the 2nd house. Venus is seated with Mercury, but though Venus is debilitated, but it's also becoming strong because any planet that is debilitated, sitting with an exalted planet, becomes strong, because there's this condition or situation whereby if a debilitated planet sits with an exalted planet, that debility is cancelled. So a condition referred to as Nichpang Raj Yoga in Vedic astrology. So Venus is getting that boost. Then we have Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of discipline. Saturn rules discipline, organization, work ethics, structures, and all that. So Saturn is in 23 degrees of Libra, and is, funny enough, it's also exalted. It's a circle Saturn is exalted. Saturn is exalted. I can't circle it properly, but it's exalted. So how many planets so far? We have so many planets exalted and in their own sign. And then we have Ketu, the eclipse points or the destiny points, also being exalted. So Rahu is usually exalted. Rahu and Ketu are very strong in Taurus and Scorpio axis. And you can see them, they are actually there. In the Ketu is in 10th house, making it very prominent in the 10th house, because 10th house is the topmost house. It is the mid-heaven. Or Rahu is the Imamkul direction, or the midnight time. So Rahu being in the 4th house is also very strong, meaning that at one point this Rahu, because these are foreign bodies, will take him outside his home, but in an exalted way. And this is what we are observing, because these are both from his native is Chicago, America, but he's getting into a high position somewhere else in Vatican City. This is due to the effect of Rahu Ketu. So of importance, you can observe that majority of planets, or all planets, are on the upper, what we call the upper section of this particular chart. And this is referred to as Kali Yoga. You can see Rahu and Ketu are forming what you call the Kali Yoga. This is what is so. It's this particular scenario is also is a destiny indicator, whereby people who have Kali Yoga will definitely bring a sort of transformation into the world. This can be observed from Trump chart also. So if you switch, let's switch and see whether Trump chart has this. Yes, Trump chart has this. Don't know whether I have Trump chart open. Trump. I don't have Trump chart. Okay. Anyway, Trump has this Kali Yoga. And this is not just a minor yoga. It's a very great yoga in terms of it indicates a certain destiny that this person is going to bring into the world, especially if they are coming into world leadership in any way. Okay, so of importance is we should realize that anytime we have such a chart with so many exalted planets and planets in their own sign, the chart becomes strong. Because if you look at rulerships, you realize that, for example, if you take a planet like Sun, so Sun rules Rio, so meaning that the first house, which is ruled by Sun, becomes very strong. Then we have Saturn. Saturn here rules the 6th house of service. This house is also becoming the seventh house of other people, negotiations, and other people. Then another house that is becoming strong, the house ruled by Jupiter. So let's point to Jupiter. Jupiter, let's give it that color. So Jupiter is here, is exalted, and normally Jupiter rules Sagittarius. This is the house of education, and the house of Pisces, the house of hidden knowledge, occult, astrology, mysticism. So Jupiter is ruling those two houses, and it's very strong. Then we have Mercury. Mercury rules the Virgo. Let's change the color for Mercury. Give Mercury its green color. So Mercury is usually green. So Mercury rules Virgo. So that house is sitting. So that house is becoming strong. And also the 11th house, because it's ruled by Mercury. And lastly, you can see that Mars is also in Leo. You can see from the ascendant, Mars is in Leo. So if you are to give Mars a red color, let's give it red color. So Mars houses are this and that. And the 10th house, obviously, because it is seated there, is also very strong. So the 10th house. So as you can see from this chart, all the houses have become very strong all of a sudden, other than the third house. But the third house is also ruled by Venus, which is also receiving an H-Pangradio. So the 10th house and the third house have received an H-Pangradio, meaning that they are also strong. So this is an indicator of a destiny changer, a person who brings change into destiny of world leadership and also spirituality. So we can pray for him that all shall be well, and everything shall go as everything shall be well with him, and we pray that he'll be able to usher in the age of Aquarius in a powerful way. You can see the sign of Aquarius is in the 7th house, and this is the age we are getting into. So if you look at Aquarius, Aquarius is receiving how many aspects? Let's see. From him, Aquarius is receiving aspect number 1. Let me show you. Aspect number 1 coming from Rahu. So Rahu is aspecting the 7th house, where Aquarius is sitting. Sun is aspecting. Mars is aspecting. The moon is aspecting. Who else is aspecting Aquarius? Mercury, Jupiter. No, Jupiter is not aspecting. But then Saturn, who is the ruler of Aquarius, is here. And Saturn is exalted. So you can see he's going to have a very positive impact to the sign of Aquarius. And sign of Aquarius lose mass consciousness, or a group of people, mass consciousness. So this will have a very great impact to other people, and especially mass awakening. So we expect that this shall happen, and will happen in a positive way. As we have seen, cruel planets and soft planets aspecting the 11th sign equally. So the next thing I would like us to spot on this chart is how transits were behaving on that particular day he was announced to be Pope. So if we were to switch and check what was happening, we'll use the Vatican time, open the chart of announcement. So he was announced to be Pope on 8th May 2025 at 7:16 p.m. Vatican, Italy. So this is the transit chart. So how planets were transiting on the sky. So the other one we were checking on was the birth chart, his birth chart. From the transits, we can see that Sun is very strong because it's in Aries. So Sun is exalted in Aries. Jupiter is in Taurus. Venus is also in its exaltation sign. Moon is in Virgo. Mars is in debility. So we can superimpose this chart, and how we do it is that we are going to switch this chart and bring his ascendant, or we bring Taurus as his ascendant as by this transit chart and see what is happening. So if you can remember his chart, it was a Taurus ascendant. Not a Taurus ascendant. He was sorry, he was not a Taurus ascendant. He was a Leo ascendant. So we're going to place Leo on the ascendant and then put his planets in place. That is, we are going to superimpose his chart on this transit chart so that we can see what are the angular houses, how the angular houses are behaving, what made him the Pope. So let's see. So if we are to rotate this chart and let's make Leo the ascendant, not Leo. We're going to make Leo the ascendant on this chart. Switch and make Leo the ascendant. How do we do that? We put 11th house as the Lagna. So that is his ascendant, but whatever how the planets are placed, what transits on that particular day of his birth, and not the announcement, the day the announcement was made on 8th May. So if you are to check on this chart, you can see that the second house, all the houses in his birth chart that are occupied are also having a transit, a necessary transit, that is. So let's see. So in his birth chart, if you can remember, Jupiter was here. We had Jupiter here. Jupiter was there. And you can see on the transit day, Mars was transiting over Jupiter. Okay? So that Mars is becoming strong. Though in transit, Mars is weak because it's in Cancer. In this particular case, it's transiting over Jupiter, and Jupiter is exalted. So Mars is receiving a Nichpang Raj Yoga, as we said. Because anytime a debilitated planet is transiting over an exalted planet, and that exalted planet happen to be okay. Let me repeat, if a debilitated planet sits together with an exalted planet, the cancellation, the debility is cancelled. That is what is happening in this chart. So meaning that Mars is triggering Jupiter, and Jupiter is the guru. You know that Jupiter is the divine knowledge and divine wisdom that is bestowed in each and every individual. So his Jupiter is getting an awakening from Mars, transiting Mars. Then we have Mercury. His birth Mercury is here, as we had seen, and Venus was also here. Do you remember that? And you can see Moon is transiting over them. Transiting Moon is over them. And this actually is also awakening Mercury and the houses it rules. And then Saturn was here. Saturn was here. There is no transit going on here. There. Then Ketu was here. Rahu was here. Still, there's no planet transiting, but you can see transit Jupiter is aspecting here. You can see Jupiter is in the 10th house, but it's aspecting Rahu because Ketu is here. If you check on main birth chart, if you can go back to where we started. You can see from his main birth chart, Ketu is exactly at 28 degrees. His birth Ketu. And this Jupiter, transiting Jupiter, is exactly on 28 degree of Taurus. So it means that Jupiter actually awakened the 10th house. This is what made him the Pope. Jupiter is making him sit on the throne of the king. And this is like, these are something that is tragic that made this Pope, this guy, to become the Pope. What is it? The death of the other Pope. That is why Uranus is in the 10th house. Can you see? Uranus, the jolt of astrology, or the electrical current of astrology. Uranus in the 10th house is giving an unexpected event to him, making him the Pope, because Jupiter is transiting there, and Jupiter is the guru, and it's transiting 28 degrees where Ketu is seated. His birth Ketu is seated. Then you can see his 9th house, her sun. Of course, sun is the light of astrology. So when sun is transiting the 9th house, and then the whole chart is awake, you can see that the sun is awakening the house of religion and spirituality, because 9th house is a house of religion, philosophy, and higher knowledge. So Sun and Mercury are transiting the 9th house, and that is a good thing. Then we have Venus in the 8th house, and Venus is exalted. So in the 8th house, we have Venus and Saturn and Rahu being in the 8th house, and that is it as far as transit is concerned. You can see that this chart is very much it's showing you how he even became a Pope via the transits that were happening. So if we'll check at dashas, let me check dashas. I haven't checked before, so let's see what dasha was going on. Let me try to trace what dasha he was running through. So this is 2025, so he's running Moon Tasha. Moon Tasha, let me mark the time period he's in. So Moon Tasha has been going on from 2024 to 2034 for him. You can see that. And from his chart, Moon is sitting where? His moon is in ascendant. So it means that the first house in the sign of Leo is activating, because Moon is in Leo. You can remember that Moon was with Sun, Mars, and Pluto, and the ascendant. All of them were in Leo, and they were in the first house. So the first house was becoming active, and activating the first house means activating the whole chart. So let's look at the sub-dashas. So there was Moon, Rahu, that was 8th of May, 8th of May 2026. No. So this is Moon, Mars, May 20. So okay, you can see the Tashas. It was the Tasha of Moon, Antradasha of Mars, and Pre-Antradasha of Mars. So Moon and Mars are the one who are actually activating this chart at this particular time. So this is how you study the Vedic astrology, the sidereal Vedic astrology, so that you can see what planets are doing in an individual chart. So until next time, may you remain blessed.